Hello guys, how's it going today? Yeah, big suggest. Yeah, I love it too. You know that. So the only thing that makes me sad about it is that I can't play it. I can't play it again and experience it like I never played it. That's the only thing I regret. It's a beautiful game. It's beautiful art. Yeah, everyone should play Mamba. Sorry, I got distracted by that. But yeah, everyone should play it. So good. It's like it's like one of those games or art type deal. But it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It should be up there like in like top 10, like I guess like psychological or like indie game type deal or whatever you want to call it. Oh, am I that quiet? Is the mic not working? How can you not hear me? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, hold on, another one as usual. One sec. That was early. All right, that was my little one as usual. The mic kind of cuts out at the end of every word. It's still doing it. Hold on. Is that any better? Did that improve it? Or is it all stupid still? I hate that there's a delay and I always have to wait like a little bit before the chat pops up. I think it's because of my fan hitting me. I have to have a fucking strong ass fan hitting my face. It's so damn hot, you know? That's better? Alright, cool. Um, anyway. So, what am I here to talk about? Well, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys saw my post on Patreon. It's free, so it's not like I put it behind a paywall or anything. It's like for anybody, because if you didn't know, you could actually join my Patreon, and you could just like follow it for free or something. Um, yeah, so I posted a message on there. I posted a link to it on the server too, but basically, I feel like I need to sort of overhaul a bunch of stuff and the approach I was taking. I used to spend a lot of time um, reading and trying to chat with and get to know people from like uh, mental health spaces or other content people, different size channels. I'm not even talking about like big ass channels or anything. I know that's unrealistic, but even smaller ones. And I had a lot of bad luck with that, trying to make things happen as far as like working on stuff or having a conversation that would actually go somewhere. Um, Same with all the time I spent like tracking down and trying to write emails, call, and go back and forth with like academics that were supposedly interested in the subject, and that wrote stuff on the subject, just not yeah, just not getting back to me, or partially getting back to me, and then me having to like wait and um, you know, I would read some of their stuff or look at their stuff so that I had like a point of reference. uh, and it was just like a big waste of time. It was just a big giant waste of time. Um, and because I'm not doing that anymore, now I'm just focusing on work. and I am focusing on channel stuff, and but I don't have anything really to focus on besides my usual. I could always do my rambles on Tuesdays and Saturdays and stuff, talk about what's on my mind, and schizoid and otherwise neurodivergency related, like, or but I feel like I need a better direction. I feel like I need the help of my small but consistent audience of people that do watch the streams and the VODs and stuff, or it later. Most of you watch it as a VOD, I think, or maybe finish it as I don't know. But I need your help with ideas on where I could go from here. Because yeah, okay, I said before, I'm definitely a more angsty arc, right? Just being myself, not worrying about. I'm not worried about, like, what's the word? Looking PR friendly, looking academic friendly, not seeming abrasive. I don't care anymore. That didn't work. That didn't do anything. If anything, I just ended up wasting a lot of time. I should have just been focusing on the Zoids and how I and other schizoids can help the Zoids. And why does it say I have no viewers? Did my thing die? I don't know. It just sometimes OBS lies and like say that it's all gone. Just talking to myself. I'm talking to myself this whole time. It'd be funny. I don't know. Is OBS lying? I hate it. It says 0 viewers. Still here? Yeah, I don't know. Then it's just being stupid. Who cares? I'm just gonna ignore that shit. I should just close it. Makes me think that, like, the stream died when it didn't. It's so annoying. Anyway, so that kind of trying to reach out to people outside of the kind of the Zoid sphere is a joke, but I think for now that's over. It's too much thinking about it, too much worry, too much following up, and most of it just culminates to nothing. There's a few people out there, shout out to them if they watch this, that are legit folks, sincere people that are interested in stuff. And to them, thank you. But I'm a little bit perplexed as to how to move forward. Like, my goals were so grandiose like 3 years ago. I thought a lot of things would have changed by now because there's a lot of presented opportunities that I guess were not opportunities after all. A lot of things happening when I planned out. Things were working. People were communicating. But I think it was just like a happy coincidences, I guess. And sorry about that. Just mute this thing. And so, like, a lot of things that even a few people help me and stuff, but it just doesn't seem like I can get it off the ground. It's because it's just like I made too many assumptions, like, or what would happen by now. I didn't even make, like, over the top. I wouldn't even call them grandiose. That's a lie. I think they were pretty reasonable assumptions considering the conditions that were happening at the time. And I had like this kind of like in mind, like this plan. Like, okay, I just gotta get this going, and this, and I just ended up wasting a lot of time and going through various depressions because of it. Um, and basically, like I came to the conclusion at this point that, as I said last stream, nobody gives a shit about us. Nobody gives a shit about schizoids. Here's going crazy, and it's for multiple reasons. It isn't because they're evil. It isn't because they're all like fucking psychos or some stupid shit. I'm not trying to paint myself as some fucking victim. It's just not. There's a lot of variables as to why schizoid is just not on the radar. Um, Whether it's mental health content creators or psychologists or study neurodivergent stuff, neurodivergent channels, advocacy channels, like a bunch of that kind of stuff. There's a multitude of reasons. Some are more superficial than others for why schizoid is just not something that is seen to be worth, I guess, dealing with. Part of that being that we're low splash, as Eleanor Greenberg, where we tend to like only sort of hurt uh, ourselves psychologically, and not so much the people that like live around us or things like that. And the most we do to them is like make them, if they're already insecure and want our attention and we don't like provide it and stuff, and we just want to be left alone. That could cause some people distress and everything, but there's still other people in their lives that can provide it for them. It doesn't have to be us. Unless it's your kids, then get your shit together. That I will not forgive. Um, and because we're on our own, I want to figure out how I get us to do shit. Like, how do I get you guys that are listening, some of the ones that watch, or maybe some of the ones that watch us later for the first time, or whatever, how do I get the people actually suffering with this stuff, dealing with this shit? And I know everyone's gonna say, oh, blah 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 blah, but that's the whole point. And it's like, yeah, I don't give a shit anymore. I don't care if that's the whole point. Schizoids are like, ambivalent and apathetic and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I get it. Now what? Right? I'm not gonna stop. I'm tired of sort of thinking like, okay, oh well, I guess that's my demographic. Oh well, I don't want to change my demographic. I want to help my demographic believe that they can make changes for themselves and for their environments around them. Whether that's establishing proper boundaries, uh, feeling like their sense of self is strong enough that they can like defend or take the time to deal with conflict that requires them defending themselves. Um, Not prioritizing autonomy over certain types of dignity. I think that's really important because I know for the schizoid, autonomy is everything, but we need to make room for dignity. We need to make room for, as much as this makes you want to puke in your throat, some self-love. We need to advocate for ourselves because no one is going to. I'm going to, but I'm no one. So that's the problem. I'll advocate for you, but that may as well be nobody. The only way I can be somebody is if the people that watch me motivate themselves to be somebody too. and that I will do my best to hold aloft your voices. But I cannot speak for you. I cannot be the guy by myself. I understand that I cannot do very much of anything by myself, except become angry, bitter, frustrated. But I don't give up. Some people tell me that's part of my problem. I've overcome a variety of things that have to do with the schizoid issue personally, on a personal level. Right? And I believe, some of those answers. But I know those answers as I, drop pieces here and there throughout the last few years. It's not going to do anything unless people take action, chances, and have goals they attempt to attain and stick to. How do I create that environment? I want to improve, and for lack of a better word, this community, this autonomous collective. I think that's the better phrase you guys like. I want this autonomous collective of Zoids to become activated in their own advocacy and the improvement of their individual stations in life. Is the stream quiet? I don't know. Amelia seems to think it's quiet. I don't know. That's everybody, because my audio is saying it's fine. I don't. Oh, I'm not sure. And I'm still quiet? Oh man, that would suck if I'm just like really quiet. Oh, fucking. Opening up and shit, and fucking. My volume's low all times. It's funny, man. Seems apt. And that cuts out at sentences. I don't know. I don't know what's causing it. Did that do anything? All right. Well, sorry if it's quiet. I don't know why it's doing that. The audio says it's fine. I think. Let me see if this helps. No, it doesn't do anything. Hello, 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 hello. That's not doing anything. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Did that do anything? Hello? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's quiet for some of you or why it's even cutting off. Anyway, I'm just gonna go, I guess, and it's just my message not going through as usual, so I was just testing audio stuff. I don't know, maybe I gotta speak louder. Yeah. Thanks, Don. Thanks, Cos. I don't know what to do to incentivize the Zoids to build on this autonomous collective, to grow it, to construct something together. Construct something autonomously, but together. You know what I mean? We're all making our individual choice to contribute to our own advocacy. And the need for help, for support, in a way that is constructive and useful to people like ourselves. Um, so on Patreon, I said, oh, what can I do, right? What can I do to connect the server and the channel more? What can I do to increase the sense of support amongst each other, for each other, right? Because the thing that I have to build, right, is because of this autonomy sensitivity, there has to be this establishing of the people here are all sensitive when it comes to their autonomy. How can we construct something in which our autonomy is not, like, our boundaries are not crossed, or but at the same time we get to stretch those boundaries, work on them, improve them, right? Other mental health servers, they'll have stuff like uh like where people check up on each other, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to make improvements and stuff like that. That sounds all like great and everything, but I can't imagine anything conventional like that being okay with schizoids. Like feeling like, oh no, I have to, like, now um I now have like a someone watching over me, making sure that I'm doing things correctly, that I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Right? And so that in itself can be engulfing. So how do we create, like, this kind of support system in which the schizoids in that autonomous collective go, hey, come on, you got to do the thing. We got to work on the thing. But it's still fully opt in and opt out. And it doesn't, like, feel like, oh, it's an obligation that I have. But at the same time, I think, well, maybe that's part of the problem, right? It's the schizoids' unwillingness to tie themselves to obligations that even benefit them. So it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to figure out. Like, for example, if I were to say, oh guys, every Thursday night we're gonna go ahead and have, like, an open mic on the Schizoid server in which people can come and explain their experiences with it, and then, like, basically they would just have to, like, DM me what they're going to talk about, and then if I'm like, yeah, that's appropriate for what this is, then I'll be like, all right, well, just join up and we'll just, like, run through what different people have to say about their experiences with this, or maybe advice they have, or maybe they want to, like, put something out there and get feedback on in a voice call way, even if they just type and everyone is talking, is reacting or something, like something like that. Yeah, that sounds cool. But if I were to try to promote that, even if I added everyone on the fucking server, I'll be lucky if two people show up, and it'll probably be the same goddamn people that do show up to things. And I don't know what to do to get the lurkers to lurk a little less, because you're just, it's not, there's no progress happening there. Because I think a lot of lurkers that watch this, or that follow stuff and just lurk on the server, I think a lot of them truly believe that they can introspect their way out of this by themselves. I don't think that's possible for almost anyone. Existential all-time high. Hard to see what any effort I do to improve the future in any personal, meaningful way. Address that in real-world terms. Well, yeah. Let's improve our own lives, because no one's going to help us do that, by gathering the autonomous surge of activated schizoids to figure out how the fuck we can get over some of this shit, or improve shit that basically makes it so we don't get anything fucking done. past like the bare minimum in our lives, because then all your intellectualizing, or all your like imagination, or all your ethics, all your principles, all your philosophies, all your whatever the fuck you prize most in this world, be it spirituality, or art, or STEM, or whatever the fuck it is, what the fuck is the point of caring about those things if you're not doing shit? And then on top of that, you're also not doing shit that might help improve that fucking situation you're in. To reconnect with that fucking inner child, to reconnect with your emotional range, to reconnect with that feeling of closeness to the things you appreciate. And no, I'm not talking about, oh man, you're gonna get really close and love everybody and love people and love being around people all the time. That's not what I'm fucking talking about. That's the last thing I need a schizoid to fucking fix in their life. The last thing I need the schizoid, that's at the back end. Like, oh, you want to be more social because, I don't know, it'll be more useful for your life or something. Or no, not even more so. You want to actually be able to enjoy like social gatherings more and stuff like that. That should be like that's like fucking later. That shit's not even important. Fuck no. What's important is getting over that feeling that Dawn described. Hard to see what any effort might do to improve the future in any personally meaningful way. That's what I'm talking about. That's good, but that's human connection. That's why I don't call it social connection, right? Because the word social just has so many hang-ups, especially for like the neurodivergently inclined schizoid. Like, it's just, it's such a loaded word. There's so many negative associations that, I'll be honest, that are pretty reasonably negative to somebody that is like this. Because it extends beyond rejection and shit like that. You could say that for, some of the cluster B people and some of the cluster C people or whatever. The schizoid is not about a sensitivity to rejection. It's about a sensitivity regarding their autonomy and giving up their sense of autonomy for what seems to be rewards that are worthless to them, or provide little comfort. And a lot of those things are social in nature, conventionally social. So I think what the schizoid needs is human connection, not social connections. If you excuse my phrasing. I think the schizoid is desperate in many ways for human connection, but they're averse to social connection. Because for example, the connections I have to the people I care about and love, and the friends that I love dearly, the handful I have, and they probably cringe at hearing that, and I'm okay with that, and I respect that cringe. But I don't see them, I don't see myself as being socially connected to them. I am socially connected to people for expedient reasons, practical reasons, right? There are people in my life that I am socially connected to because there are benefits toward my goals, such as this stuff, that I need to retain. And then there are people that I have varying levels of human connection with. And then there are people that I have very close human connection with. I think that's one of the major differences. So yes, human connection is absolutely one of the best and first steps for a schizoid to overcome a bunch of shit that makes everything feel so desperately meaningless. For many schizoids, it is not just a philosophical nihilism that haunts them. It is a experience. You could almost call it a nihilistic emotional experience, where it's not that they just think everything feels meaningless. It act or they feel it. They experience that sense of meaninglessness. And the only way to overcome a very big chunk of that is finding human connection, not social connection. That's how I want to separate that. The schizoid needs human connection. The schizoid doesn't want social connection. I think that's actually a pretty apt way to put it. And my evidence that the schizoid needs human connection is that they read books, they listen to music, they watch films, they watch anime, they watch whatever, they partake in a lot of interests and hobbies and things, knowledge and art and everything, right? All those things are a schizoid attempt to connect to humanity, not to socially connect. Because what's interesting, if you take it a step further, is that when you're reading a book, right, you're getting a sincere essence of that writer a lot of the time. When you listen to someone's music, you're getting sincerity. You're getting a human being, a living, sentient creature of certain degrees of intelligence that is aware deeply of his own existence and is afraid of what seems to be a chaotic and confusing universe. And people express that through art, through music, through literature, through their explorations of the mind, the soul, the material world. And I think the schizoid has these deep connections to those things, or at least they keep searching through them, looking for something emotional, something real, something that will allow them to connect with their fellow sentient, living, breathing beings. Sure, there might be a negative association to humanity in and of itself, but even the ones that hate humans or whatever, or feel are more misanthropic. And I'm not talking like ASPD style, but I'm talking like just misanthropic and bitter. And I just don't want people around me because humans are trash, and that includes me. I'm trash because I'm human, and I wish I wasn't human. And like I've heard that kind of stuff before from the Zoids, the more like misanthropic ones. And it's funny because they still fantasize about connecting with something or someone out there that isn't human, something more incorporeal, maybe something fictional, maybe some being from a science fiction or fantasy universe, right? They are so desperate to connect to another entity in a way that is not a threat to their autonomy. The reason the schizoid is averse to social connection is because of that, because there are many demands it makes of the individual that the non-zoidy person and a lot of just neurotypical people do not mind giving up a certain level of their autonomy, because there are rewards involved in those systems that they want, that they see as worthwhile. The schizoid, meanwhile, sees a wasteland within the social connection world. They see nothing but small rewards and small things that ultimately do not lead them to feeling connected to other humans. A lot of the neurotypical people and people that don't deal with some of this weighty shit, like literally, like it's like they can find human connection through social connection. And the schizoid generally cannot. They can find a lot of things, interesting conversation, knowledge, opportunities. I think those are things worthwhile in many senses that you need in order to improve your life so that you can increase your chances of human connection, not social connection, but human connection, using social connection to improve your chances of human connection. But human connection for the schizoid is a hard-fought thing because there isn't that many people that think like you, that experience things like you, that are as ambivalent to a lot of the things that so many put so much stock in, that you put many of your eggs in very idiosyncratic baskets. So it's harder to find other people that are similar in that way. Yeah. It's actually quite interesting though. Like, I know this is a hot take or whatever, but it often feels it's somewhere deep down in the schizoid psyche. There's like there's this need for, and I know the word is yucky, but there's this need for an intimacy that extends beyond conventional understanding of what intimacy is supposed to look like and feel like, and what it does look and feel like to the vast majority of people. A level of honesty and sincerity in which flaws can be pointed at and understood, and just higher levels of sort of good faith communication. No pity, no charity, no social enforcement of action that is pro-social, no reward system that it merely makes all human interactions transactional. Something that's reaching out a little deeper, a little more out there. And I think a lot of schizoids would like to have that in some sense, in some way. That's why some of us look to the ether to find such things. Because we could see there is a spark, there is something interesting within humanity, within their fellow man. And they could see the evidence of that through the art and everything else they create. But yet, when they go somewhere to socialize or are put in a situation in which they see none of it being presented in any way that they could interact with and enjoy and partake in. So how do I do it, boys and girls? How do I get the schizoid to give a fuck about themselves enough to get their ass moving? And then get them to improve that connection to themselves, to their understanding of what is in fact ego-syntonic to them, and how taking action can produce results that benefit their sense of self-actualization, which in turn makes it easier to establish human connection, because then they have a tendency to set boundaries and self-advocate and stand up for the things they truly believe in, without saying, oh, it doesn't matter anyway. Who cares? It's all pointless. It's all stupid, including me. I need your help to figure that out. Because conventional community building things are not going to cut it. So, what is a autonomy friendly or autonomy sensitivity nuanced version of community building, community action, support for one another, dealing with this oh so wonderful void? How do I lead and support others in constructing this? I don't even like considering myself a leader of any kind. I'm more comfortable considering myself a human tool for what I think is right, what I think is good. And then I think I am willing to give up a portion of my autonomy for the sake of this goal. And if I could figure out how to motivate Zoids enough to get their own shit together and be willing to figure out how to do that in smaller ways for each other. Well, the reason they push them away, Hector, is because oftentimes the aversive social things rear their head. And because of previous experiences that have ended in disappointment, discouragement, confusion, and other things. And so one projects those experiences when a person was younger, when they considered themselves more naive and absurd in their thinking that they could find human connection without all these trappings that seem to be only one-sided and beneficial to the person putting them on you. So yes, either that is what's happening, or, and oftentimes because the schizoid is not advocating for themselves, not setting those boundaries. Well, in your youth, what could you do, right? A lot harder without any kind of advice or any kind of mentoring of any fucking kind in your life on what's going on with you. But when they get older and wiser and they find a connection, even say with another Zoid in some respect, a friendship, old habits die hard. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know, Winter, but even the ones that resign themselves, I want them to stop fucking doing it. Because that shit's worthless. And if they want to say, fuck you, I don't care if you think it's worthless. I'm going to be like, okay. Well, guess not you. But hey, we're here. The ones that do give a fuck and don't think it's worthless. To not resign yourself to that existence. We're here. And I'm not judging them for not wanting to do it. I'm just trying to figure out how I can get them to think about it, maybe. All we got is each other, guys. We got ourselves. And a collection of people that feel like all they have is themselves. So if you have ideas, shoot me a DM. Think it out. What sort of community, what sort of stuff would sound cool, right? We can make up anything. It'd be like, hey, book clubs, fucking little clubs of some kind, maybe a way to, I don't know, experiment with talking in ways that fucking you normally don't, in a non-judgmental, like, oppressive fucking social environment, right? That's how I welcome everyone that jumps on a voice call with me when I'm there. That's how I am. I'm a little abrasive sometimes. I'm a little outspoken. If you say some dumb shit, I might say, I disagree. If you get goofy, I'll tell you you're being goofy and to please stop. I will be sincere, honest, and I have my boundaries and I will enforce them. And I hope you can do the same. And if you can't, then let's talk about how we can improve that. Well, there you go. You said it, Don. The younger ones have to understand that they don't have enough fucking experience, and the old ones gotta stop fucking being fat old bitches and get shit done. You don't think I'm tired? I'm fucking tired. So, I'm gonna be tired anyway. Might as well be tired for a reason. That at least feels like something abuse. Hey, Khalil, bring back the Awful Media channel. Yeah, I'm down for that. Just people weren't showing up. The reason I wanted to do that is like, yeah, I had like 1 or 2 regulars, but I don't want 1 or 2 regulars. I want the fucking Zoids to show up and experience what it's like to be around people that are not going to have these social fucking expectations of you. Reasonable, respectful, sometimes quiet, but generally more honest because they want similar, they're desperate for honesty and sincerity in the human beings they interact with. If that's not what you're showing up with, and you got some other fucking problem, I hope you get called out. Because I'm tired of that shit too. I'm tired of fucking people getting into the server with applications in which they say one thing and behave in another way. I'm fucking sick of that shit. I'm tired of people giving us half-assed applications, and then when we ask for more information, they get defensive and stupid. And it's really funny too, because when that happens, I just go, glad you told me now. The kind of fucking crybaby shit you're gonna try to pull on the server. Thank you for getting this defensive and emotionally fucking upended over us wanting to know a little bit more about what you meant by your answer, because we're trying to fucking figure out where you're coming from. Guess what? The ones we let in are the ones that give answers that make sense and they're respectful. And it's funny because the ones that give the answers that end up making us go, oh yeah, this person should be in the server, it's a good fit. Oh, it's weird. They're almost always fucking respectful. They're almost always fucking reasonable to communicate with. They're almost always trying to be fucking just upfront. Right? Oh, what a fucking coincidence. And guess what? A lot of those are just fucking lurkers. Some of the most interesting fucking Zoids I've ever come across, I only got to speak to briefly, or I only got to read their applications. And then they said nothing. And it's disappointing. So how do I get them to say something? I want a diversity of Zoid thought on the server, on the commentary, on the channel, in the chat. If we don't do this, no one's doing this. This isn't gonna happen otherwise. I don't understand why that fucking doesn't get to people's heads, man. And I get the issues. I get it. I've been there. But when I was there, I didn't have anybody saying this shit to me. I didn't have the internet like this. There was no autonomous collective of people trying to discuss this or be a part of something like a server like this. That shit didn't exist. It exists now. And I'm trying to build it up. So if you could, and you are willing, ideas, effort, stories, whatever the fuck. You want me to bring back Dear Angst? Good. Are you going to start fucking, or people are going to start fucking submitting shit on there? Good. I'll bring it back. You want me to bring back the fucking Angst Awful Media channel that we used to have, where I would like play shitty movies and just have a good gaff and watch like awful ass media, like shit movies, and just chill, just have like a nice fun laugh without all these fucking things about like, oh, who's friends with who, and who are you? We don't know you. Tell us everything about yourself. This fucking bullshit. Dear Angst was a segment in which basically we still there. We had a channel that people could submit through a bot. I usually have a question, and then they would answer it through there, and the only person that could read those submissions was me. That was it. Not my staff, not my mod team, nobody but me. And then I would read the stuff they said out loud, the answers in regards to the questions, without saying their usernames or any kind of things that could identify them. And then I would just kind of ramble and discuss what it is that they like put out there. And if it was something like I thought like they were like deluding themselves about something, or I thought they were like, you know, seeing it in a way that might be not very helpful to their lives, I would put in my 2 pennies. And sometimes it would be funny and amusing and relatable to a lot of the people listening, but it's just the submissions were far and few between sometimes, and I never had a consistent amount of answers that was like, it'd be like fucking one would give me like a ton, but then most would give me like 2 or 3 or 4, and it's just like, okay, that's not much to work with. Lippy streaming is a sort of de facto schizo. Yeah, but that's during the day usually. But yeah, Lippy will stream like random shit. It's cool. Make them more infrequent? Okay, so like once a week, maybe? No, I agree 100%, Morning Dawn. They usually have something like that in mind, and they think about it, and it's usually the very thing that makes them not want to get out of bed, because they think about it and they find it so fucking hopeless, right? It's usually something like that that makes them go like, it's not an interpersonal concern. They're not like, oh, another day where nobody's my friend and I can't find a girlfriend. Like, that's not why the fucking schizoid is having trouble getting out of bed in the morning. It's usually something, yeah, a little more transcendental than that. It's something more existential than that. Absolutely. And the problem, though, is you can't make improvements to the things that you have like a higher calling toward without getting your shit together. Yes, Morning Dawn, absolutely. That's exactly what I mean. Get your shit together. Right? Just simple shit. Work your fucking job. Don't spend money on dumb shit. Save some pennies. so you can fucking do the shit you care about, so you can do the thing. The fuck, you want to go fucking save the fill in the blank fucking animal, insect, snake, whatever the fuck. You want to dedicate your life to something like that, fucking, you need to fucking work to make that happen. And am I going to say, oh, well, just pick yourself up by your bootstraps? No, that's retarded. No, I'm going to tell you, it fucking sucks, and there's going to be a lot of shit in the way. But guess what? If the Zoids were working together, maybe there'd be less shit in the way. Maybe the Schizoids can network in a way that's fucking like, hey, man, I'm good at this. Can somebody get me a job? And be like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about, like, all these conventional things. Are you good at your job? Yeah. All right, here's your fucking job. Let's send an application. You know, it's just done, like, goofy shit like that. That's what I mean by helping each other. I'm not just talking about, like, fucking hugs and kisses. I'm not saying, oh, the Zoids really need to just hug each other and love each other and cup each other's balls. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm also talking about practical, real advice. If you're a schizoid that's good with finances, cool. Help other schizoids figure out their fucking finances. If you're a schizoid that's good with fucking nutrition, cool. Help other schizoids with fucking nutrition. Say you're the one that's good with nutrition, but you fucking suck when it comes to your existential, like, fucking panic attacks. Then talk to the Zoids that are good or figured some of that shit out, aka me, and then you can give me fucking, I don't know, nutritional information, so I don't get so fucking constipated from stress. So that's what I mean. Ever had a fantasy that you wake up and there are no people and are like in a civilized world, like in a city, but there's no one there? Maybe. Yeah, daydreaming. That whenever I go outside. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Let's stop daydreaming and make the day. I know it's not that easy. Some of you have maladaptive daydreaming shit, but there are steps that can be taken to improve those things. We need to take those steps. Baby steps, big steps, whatever. Just take fucking steps. And I'll hear you out. I'll listen to. And we got to listen to each other without imposing on each other's autonomy in a disrespectful and aversive way. It's not that fucking difficult. I do it with other schizoids all the time. They do it with each other. It's as simple as that. Say I'm having a bad day. I'm having like a real tough fucking day, and I feel like I want to talk to somebody, right? Right? Here's the difference. I don't feel entitled to talk to anybody. And the people I do contact don't feel like I think I'm entitled to it either. You know what happens? I say, hey, you got some time to talk about this thing that's fucking bugging me? And if they say, actually, I'm going through my own shit right now, I can't. Or, I'm busy, maybe another time. I will not take it personally. I will say, respect. There are times in which I am in the same situation. And I move on. Wow, what a notion. Yes, people like that exist. And many of them are schizoids. Because guess what? When a person, you can do that, you can say, hey, I can't help you with your emotional thing right now. Your fucking depression or whatever the fuck. I got too much on me. I'm just not willing. If you could say that to somebody and they don't take it personally, like, I'm not going to be very useful to you right now, and they legitimately don't take it personally, guess what? That incentivizes you in the future to want to reach out to someone like that too. Because then you don't have to worry you're engulfing them, you're trespassing on them, and vice versa. Well, tell me, Thunderson, how often you've ever fucking resented them for it, especially once they become entitled to wanting it. Right? That's the problem. You'll listen to them, and many people will become comfortable and entitled, so that the next time you want to say, no, thank you, I'm full. Maybe another time, They turn on you. They tell you you're being insensitive. I thought you were my friend. You know what that makes me want to do? Ghost you. Because I don't got time for that shit, because I'm not going to do that shit to you. Simple as that. One time's okay, but when it happens as a pattern, absolutely. There's been people in my life in the past that have like tried to go that route, and I tell them I don't play these games. I don't mind listening to you and giving you some advice. But if you start feeling like you're entitled to my time, I'm fucking done. You're not my wife. You're not my kids. Those are the only fucking people that are entitled to my time. My wife and my kids. That's it. Everyone else, I'll give it to you because I care, to whatever degree that I care. Even, yeah, I don't know if Mile's still listening, but if Mile over worries about her, like, imposing them, you know, they're wanting to talk about something on me. I'm like, nah, it's fine. I'll tell you. I'll tell you when it's a problem. Me and Mile are buds. We go a long way. And I'm comfortable with them because, like, I know I can just say, not today, Mile. And they can say, not today, Angst. Don't feel like talking to anybody or anything. And they know that I will never take it personally, and I know they won't take it personally either. That's why I can be as close to them as I am. If you let them talk without complaining, then they don't know it's hurting you. Yeah, of course not. That's why you can't be resentful of people that like talk and talk and talk and you feel like imposed upon. And if you're not saying anything, you're doing nothing, you can't be bitter to them. You can't be mad at them. What are you, stupid? I know I'm sounding like a dick, but really, what are you, stupid? I'm not saying anything and doing anything to stop this occurrence from happening. I sure hate people. What are you, dumb? A little tough love on that one. You gotta do something about it. And then you gotta find people that understand that and have similar values when it comes to autonomy and what it means to be close to another person and what that respect looks like. Then you can get your human connection. Then you can find that friend that, or two. Then you can find maybe that partner. Well, hey, Don, you know what's really funny is that when you try to return the dump, when they dump on you and then you try to return the dump, you know what sometimes happens? Your dump's too weird. Your concerns don't make sense to them. They're scary. They're confusing. They're not like mine. And then you go, oh, okay. This is why I don't do that. This is worthless and a waste of my time. And there can be a certain sense of resentment. You know when you should resent somebody? Not because, oh, they're so imposing the way they want to talk to me and pay attention to me, right? No, you know when you should resent somebody, when you should have a fucking problem with them, is when you tell them, hey, I don't want this. And they try to force it on you. They try to manipulate you. They try to say shit to make you feel guilty, even though you're not feeling guilty. Maybe you're feeling so annoyed you just put up with it. And you just like, oh God, I don't even want to deal with this. That's when you resent them. When you tell them, hey, not down today. Hope that's okay. And they're like, no, that's not okay. Unless that's your fucking, unless those are your kids or your partner having a bad day and, you know, you're the one person that they're the closest to, like, you should not be putting up with that shit ever. That's all I'm saying. I know I fucking don't. If my buddy right there listening, Mila, showed up one day and said, "Thanks, you haven't been a very good friend. I wanted to talk about my problems, and you haven't been giving me time of day, and haven't been asking me if I'm all right." You know how quickly I'm gonna be like, "Oh, cool. I guess I'm not talking to Mila anymore." Crazy. Actually, I think in that sense, I would be like, "Oh my gosh, she's having a psychotic break." I think that's what I would have. Like, if they came at me like that, I'd be like, "Oh shit, this is psychosis." I'd actually be worried about them because I wouldn't even be upset. Actually, no, I take it back. I wouldn't be upset initially. I'd be like, "Oh shit, she's Mila's losing her fucking mind. What is this?" Um, and then I give them the benefit of the doubt that they're like, I don't know, just hallucinating or something. Until, if I figure out that's not the case and they're just like super crazy needy and like trying to guilt trip me, then I would fucking be like, no. And I'll have all these fond memories of before that happened. But I'm not living through that. I've done that before already. I'm good. Yeah, my dump still makes it. Yeah, that's why. You want to have somebody in which you can dump and they can be like, I'm willing to listen. And it makes sense to them. And if they're not willing to listen, they'll say maybe another time. And you go, that's fine. Wow, what a notion. Something I gotta go, but something my psychologist told me that was really funny is that a lot of the stuff that I talk about, that like I think a lot of schizoids are like um want reasonable boundaries and respectful kind of communication and sincerity and shit like that, and that's why they usually are averse to a lot of social things, because there tends to be a lot of games and bullshit. um I explain, like, whenever I would tell her some of this stuff, I'm like, I think this was she's like, wow, it sounds like Zoids just want like literally the thing that a lot of psychologists are always telling people they should be doing communication wise, and that they're not doing it. I'm like, wow, isn't that crazy? Open, honest communication, sincere conversation that's safe to have without constant judgment and social repercussions. Wow, because of people's egos blowing up. Holy shit, what a notion. Anyway, guys, I do gotta go. um Thanks a lot for listening, and as usual, when day is dark, get fucking mad, but also, like someone said, remember happy day. I'm gonna say both. Remember happy day, but get fucking mad when you need to. Okay? And oh yeah, if you like my streams, Patreon, for the love of God, Patreon. Leave comments on that post I put there on the Patreon, PayPal, all that stuff. Every fucking dollar helps me. I don't know if it was coincidence, but I lost a chunk of patrons because of like my more like aggressive style, that I'm just kind of being like, no, I'm done. I think that maybe the more meek Zoids were like, I don't like this. It's too something. But if you're one that likes this more, then please support me. It'd help a lot. All right.